Hi guys, Brain here. Welcome to another commentary video today. Today's gonna be a little bit of a different video because typically when I load up for a commentary video, I'm talking about things kind of like usually tied to some sort of discourse or frustration happening in the DVD community, whether it come from like specific perks, specific characters, specific maps, you know, talking, kind of breaking down things that frustrate and agitate the DVD community. So it's mostly kind of like a pains points kind of like series, right? I don't really talk a whole lot about like things that make me happy about the game or things that like I'm like I love this about the game. It's mostly just a pains point kind of that, not even necessarily venting, but kind of just like constructively kind of just having a roundtable conversation between me and you guys, talking about things that are just going on in the DVD community, both long-term and short-term. But I think especially lately we've had a lot of like bad discourse, I think, when it comes to just talking about the game and the community. Obviously, there are certain videos that probably immediately come to mind that people have released in recent memory that people have kind of like started arguing and fighting over and making things extraordinarily personal and extremely quickly over. And I think that's like, kind of partially what's put us in a very not too satisfied place as a community. It's also been kind of a back to like we talked about when Skull Merchant was releasing. We're kind of in a content drought. We've had back to back kind of not so thrilling chapters. You know, we've had back to back not so thrilling chapters, which have kind of like, you know, make us feel like we're in a big content drought, because usually we unify over like new and cool like chapters and going like, well, what perk's good, what perk's not, is this character viable, is this character not? And when, you know, essentially Behavior kind of released the same chapter twice in a row, which was, hey, would you like a character that's pretty bad, but if they hold a 3-gen, they're the most obnoxious character in the game? Would you like this chapter back to back? So yeah, so they did that. So I there's not like exciting new content to really like point to direct our attention at. So we're kind of like getting a little like stir crazy. I think we're just kind of like, you know, like we're all like just hoping that the next chapter is really, really good. And I think a lot of that is like being directed at each other. A lot of we're kind of like, it's almost like, you know, we're all like cooped up and we're all like wanting to go out and do things, but we just can't. So we're all just like starting to freak out a little bit. And I just kind of wanted to stop for a second and kind of like put out not another video that makes the game feel like everything is so perilous. The game, the community is so perilous and bad things are happening. Because that's definitely, I feel like, you know, obviously there's been a lot of videos released lately of like, is the DVD game, it's the game of DVD dying? Is the community dying and all this stuff? And it's kind of like, it kind of feels like a runaway train a little bit, you know, depending. Kind of starts to feel like a runaway train at a certain point. So I kind of want to just talk about that, like, you know, maybe it's nice to step outside the DVD bubble here for a second and kind of just like, you know, sit here together, because I think that there's a lot of good that has come from Dead by Daylight and my experience with it. Despite all the flaws, the shortcomings of the game and the community, a lot of positive things have come from it. And I just kind of want to like put this out here as just kind of like a not a dissuasion, but you know, a diamond in the rough of what seems to be not such a great time to be a DVD fan as it happens to be. So I just want to like almost try a positive rant, because usually my rants are very angry, right? Like I'm very like frustrated about something, but I kind of want to do a positive rant. It's just like some of you that I have met, whether it be on the stream side or the YouTube side, I've ended up like becoming like super close friends with, and it's been, you know, uniquely because I met you through DVD, whether that be through a video, whether that be through a mutual content creator. There's some of you that like I've actually genuinely become some of my closest friends, and I hang out with you guys, and even if it's just like only a parasocial thing, even if it's like we're not like close friends, like we like personally hang out and stuff like that, there are some of you I genuinely enjoy seeing you talk and seeing you talk. There are some of you that I genuinely enjoy like conversating with and seeing you all the time, and it does lift my day up and make my day better to just be able to hang out and see you guys all the time. And that wouldn't be possible if we weren't, you know, kind of here united by our mutual experiences in the game. And I think that's like on the flip side why I think I'll never stop making the content that I do, because I don't think my content inherently like brings down the game of Dead by Daylight, because it's like I clearly care about the game and I clearly want it to like reach its max potential and to be as fun as possible. And I think that a lot of us feel that way. A lot of us feel that way. So the fact that we kind of have this little mutual space where we can kind of like vent that and breathe it and just like let it off our chests, it makes it easier to digest, right? That feeling of like, oh, well, we all feel this way. We're all like this, right? Like we're all kind of in the same boat when it comes to our sentiments for the game, as it is a fun game and we do enjoy the game most of the time, but its shortcomings are frustrating. And if we could just like, you know, edge those out, this could be one of the best games of all time. And that community that we've built around that, I think the word is hope, not to make it like super cheesy, but that word is hope, right? We hope it gets better. We hope they adjust the things that aren't so great about the game. We hope that these things happen. So we push and we push and we push, and together we have this collective hope for things to improve, and constantly want to talk about and elaborate on how things could improve. And I think that's a very, very positive thing. And it's not always so. I want to phrase it that way. Not always so. It's not always a positive thing. I've definitely seen communities that, you know, like we talked about with the video I released recently, talking about like irritation does not mean unbalanced. Some people just get irritated and they just want to base the game based on their own irritations. And I mean, you see it, not even just in that video, but you see it in the comments down all the time. We suggest things all the time that are like objectively good for the health of the game, but because it doesn't necessarily benefit your side, you're going to post a 4-page tangent about how like survivors are oppressed or killers are oppressed. Like, some people aren't on that boat. Some people don't want to be a part of that. But honestly, that's not your, like, let them be. Right? Like I said, in one of my React videos recently, it's like, you're not their parents. You are not responsible for them. And they want to sit there and they want to be biased, they want to whine, they want to cry and just like throw a little crybaby tantrum like, oh no, my side is so oppressed. Like, just don't listen to them. Clearly they're biased, clearly they're not thinking straight, clearly they're not seeing the game straight, so why don't let them be. Let them get that off their chest, let them baby rage, and, you know, just let them be. You stick in your lane, you try to, like, you know, try to keep the things and frustrations and thoughts that you have constructive and healthy, and that is a very, very special thing. And I think that for the most part, both on the Twitch and the YouTube side, like, I really do see that out of you guys, which I do appreciate a lot. You try to keep the things you think and feel constructive. Like, of course, I'm going to get, like, the baby whiners. Like, that's always going to be a thing. I'm always going to have crybabies. So that's just the DBD community. Like, the DBD community is not so much toxic in the sense that, like, they're telling people to keep themselves safe, if you know what I mean. But it's more so them just trying to, you know, just... They're just immature. I don't know. I was trying to find a nice way to put it, but they're just immature. They're just whiners. There's a lot of whiners. There are a lot of just crying and whining and just that I think is easier to deal with. And you guys, for the most part, don't do that. And I'm very, very proud and happy to see that, you know, we were cultivating a space. And it's about let's bring constructive things to the table. Let's bring things that are going to keep moving things forward and our constructive thoughts, and not just, you know, my side's oppressed. Wah, wah, wah. You know? So I'm really proud of that. And I think it's just, I don't know. I think people ask me sometimes, is like, you know, especially when we have like when we had obviously beforehand, before the mid chapter 6.1, we had Old Dead Hard, we had the DS Unbreakable in its previous form. It's like, how did you keep playing the game through that? It's like, how do you keep playing the game through that? Like, how did you survive that time in DBD when like Killer was legitimately awful to play all the time? It's like, I don't know, I like coming here every day. I don't know, whether it be through a react or a match review or me talking here. I like coming here every day. I like hearing your thoughts. I like talking with you guys. And I think that, like, for as long as that remains and I can keep that, you know, constructive space that we of a community that we've created, I think I'll always like doing this. Like the game will have its phases where it's more fun and it's less fun. That's just kind of how it is. Every game is like that. Like even the most like very, very well balanced games, like fighting games, will always have a character that's just busted, right? And they'll be busted for like 2 or 3 whole seasons and before they ever get adjusted, and it's frustrating, right? Like this is just how video games work, because they have times where they're more fun, there are times where they're just less fun. But I think as long as I always have this aspect of, you know, that we can just kind of constructively talk about it and hang out together and kind of like chill and, you know, spit our thoughts out. Like, I think that's worth it. I think it'll always be worth it. I think that will always make this a nice, kind place. And I guess I just hope that like you feel that way too. You know, like I know this is how I feel. I'm just talking about how I feel. It's a positive rant, I guess. But I hope you feel that way too. You hope you feel this is a place where you can be heard and it feels a little bit more constructive and, you know, a little bit more cognitively pleasing than just a place where people whine. And I hope that I can continue to make that space, which is a nice little carved out corner where things aren't so like volatile, I think would be the word. Because I think that's the main thing I do see out in the DBD community is a lot of volatility. But yeah, a lot of good has come from this game. A lot of things will continue to come from the game. I think that I enjoy our more constructive pursuits that we seem to have with it. And I hope we can continue to have that. But I guess if there's a TLDR to all this, is just, you know, maybe stop for a second, look around and see like what are the positive takeaways that you've had from playing this game. Even if it's something as small as just, I really like playing Oni. Oni's fun. I'll always feel like playing Oni or something like that. Just, you know, or the friends you've met when you've played this game, or the connections you've made, or the funny clips you've gotten. Just think about the positive things that the game has brought to you, because it's not all gloom and doom. Even if you want to, you know, argue that this is perhaps not a not so fun time in Dead by Daylight right now, there have been fun times too, and it comes and goes in waves. So just ride the wave, and I'm sure things will be okay. So yeah, that's it. More of just the put some positive energy out there kind of rant. I know usually rants are more entertaining if I'm angry, but hopefully putting some positive energy out there kind of helps more in a situation where it feels like a lot of, or an era, to put it funnily, an era where it seems like a lot of content creators are kind of erring more on the negative side. So yeah, hopefully that helped. If it didn't, I don't know. That's the best I can do, friend. But I do upload daily, so I will see you tomorrow. But if I do not, I will see you when I see you, friends. Goodbye.